In the previous class, we have partially discussed about the pre-fertilization events, and in pre-fertilization events, you have discussed about the three types of gamete formation in the different types of organisms. But I have already said about the two types of gametes. As isogametes are those plants' body or those animals' body which prepare two types of gametes having the similar shape and size, having the morphological similarity. So in the Clevadomonas we have discussed, or in the Cladophora we have discussed. But in the Fucus and in the Homo sapiens, we have seen that female gametes are larger and male gametes are smaller. And female gametes are stationary, rich with food materials. And the male gametes are smaller and motile, flagella are there. So these are called heterogametes. But in the 11th class, if you want to recall, then in the Clevadomonas, one thing is given that gametes can be divided in three types: anisogamous, oogamous, and previously isogamous. So anisogamous and oogamous both are similar thing. But in the case of Clevadomonas and some other organisms, it has been discussed that anisogamous is the term which is used for those two types of gametes with a structural dissimilarities. Female gamete is larger, male gamete is smaller, but both are motile, both are flagellated. In anisogamous, dissimilar gametes are there, but both gametes are flagellated. Both gametes are motile. And oogamous, female gamete is stationary and male gamete is flagellated. So this is discussed in Homo sapiens and in the Fucus. But in the Clevadomonas, anisogamous. Both gametes are flagellated. Next thing today we have to discuss about sexuality in organisms. In the gametogenesis, another subtopic is given: sexuality in organisms. In this subtopic, it has been questioned that are the organism's body prepare both types of gametes? Yeah, are the organisms having one body prepare one gamete, another body prepare another gamete in the same spaces? Then on this basis that gametes are prepared by the same body or the different body, the organisms have been divided into the two types. One we have to discuss about the homothallic. Three terms I will use: homothallic, monoecious, or bisexual. In the case of plants, we have to use homothallic, bisexual, and monoecious. These terms are used for those plants' body which prepare both types of gametes in the single body. And examples are cucurbits and coconuts. In cucurbits, gourds, pumpkin, watermelon, etc. And when you are coming to next phase, heterothallic, bisexual, या dioecious. Three terms, three are similar terms: heterothallic, dioecious, and that is the unisexual. In these terms, those plants' bodies are included which prepares only one gamete, either male gamete or female gamete. And in this heterothallic, dioecious, or unisexual, dead palm or papaya plants are included. So in papaya plant, we have to discuss that one plant is totally staminate, one plant is totally pistillate. Means one plant having the flower, and that flower only have the reproductive organ, that is the stamen, that is the androecium, that prepares only male gamete. And in another case, another plant is there that is totally pistillate, and this plant have the flowers which have only one reproductive organ, pistil, carpel, gynoecium, and this gynoecium prepares egg, female gamete. Next topic we have to discuss about hermaphrodite. In the case of animals, we know that generally we see that animals are unisexual, but in some cases we see that animals can also be bisexual, and for these bisexual animals we use the term that is hermaphrodite. Four examples are given in the book: that leech, tapeworm, earthworm, and sponges. These four organisms have the preparation of both types of gametes, male gamete and female gamete, by the similar body, by the same body. Next thing we have to study about that in the some cases like in the monera, in the algae, in the fungus, in the bryophyta, the main plant body, the main body is haploid in nature. Means in these four types of organisms, the body have the cells, and these cells having the chromosome number which are haploid, which are half haploid, n number of chromosome. And this n number of chromosome, if the total plant body having the n number of chromosome, and if these bodies have to prepare gamete, and we know that gamete has also the haploid set of the gametes, haploid set of the chromosomes. The bodies, the parent bodies are haploid in nature, and gametes are also haploid in nature. Then which type of cell division should be used by these bodies so that chromosome number can remain constant? Because gamete must have haploid set of the chromosomes. Then we use that mitotic cell division. Mitosis is the cell division in which number of chromosome does not change. So in the case of monera, algae, fungus and bryophyta, these bodies prepares gametes by the type of cell division which is called mitosis. In mitosis, there is not change in the chromosome number. And if the gamete formation taking place, this gamete formation is taking place by the gamete mother cell, and this gamete mother cell is termed as myocytes. These gamete mother cells are termed as myocytes. Now in the case of angiosperm, gymnosperm, pteridophytes and we animals, most of the animals, the bodies are diploid in nature, and this body having the reproductive cells, and these reproductive cells are diploid in nature. And you know that gametes are haploid in nature. If these reproductive cells are diploid in nature and have to form haploid gametes, then these all the reproductive cells or specialized cells go through meiotic division, because we know that meiosis is the cell division in which number of chromosome reduces half than the parental number of chromosome. So the reproductive cell divides meiotically and form gametes. And these reproductive cells have the 2n number of chromosome, diploid number of chromosome, and if it divides, then it will form the gametes which are haploid in nature. So that will become haploid. I have drawn that figure through this page. I want to show you. I have tried this deep. You are looking here that in haploid body, monera, algae, fungus, bryophyta, gamete mother cell is called myocyte, and that is dividing meiotically to form gametes. And in the case of parental body of pteridophyta, gymnosperm, angiosperm, most animals have myocytes, gamete mother cell, and that is dividing, as that myocyte is diploid in nature, so that is dividing meiotically to form gametes. You see it. So this is the topic, cell division during gamete formation. Cell division during gamete formation. So this is another subtopic. The next subtopic we have to discuss about, that is in fungus and algae. In case of fungus and algae, both types of gametes are motile. In fungus and algae, both types of gametes are motile. Next thing we have to study about that it is written that in the bryophyta, as in the 9th class we have studied about the which division of the plantae is called amphibians of the plantae kingdom. So we have discussed about that male plant body of the bryophyta prepares male gamete, which is called antherozoid. Our antherozoid is biflagellated in nature, and that requires water medium so that it can swim and reach to the female thallus, female gamete. No, so that is this antherozoid is prepared by the male body, and that male reproductive organ is called antheridiophore. And the egg has been prepared in the female thallus, female plant thallus, female bryophytic plant thallus, that is called archegoniophore. Archegoniophore prepares egg, And 3DO4 prepares male gamete, which is called antherozoid, biflagellated antherozoid. And this biflagellated antherozoid swim in water and reach to the archegoniophore and fuse with the egg. So, in the case of Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and one thing written algae, these all the divisions having the male gamete formation, and these male gametes requires water medium to swim from male body to female body. But in the case of angiosperm, in the case of seed plants, it has been discussed here that in the case of angiosperm, pollen sacs, anthers, prepare pollen grain, and these pollen grains come in the influence of air, start to float in the air, and this pollen grains have the male gamete, and wherever that will float, that will settle on the stigma of the female gamete, the stigma of the plant of the same species, that will germinate and supply the male gamete to the egg. So pollination take place. Cross pollination can be there, or self pollination can be there. If the flower like the pea is there, garden pea is there, if that is bisexual in nature, then the pollen grain will just dust over the stigma surface in the same flower. So self pollination is seen there. So self pollination happen and cross pollination can also take in place, but cross pollination requires water medium, cross pollination requires air, other carriers. In case of other, that is given here, but one thing is written here that in the case of angiosperms, thousands of pollen grains have to be prepared. Why thousands of pollen grains have to be prepared? Because these pollen grains float in the air, but it is not sure that all the pollen grains will certainly settle over the female stigma surface. Maximum of them will dusted randomly on another place, that will become useless. But some of the pollen grains must be falling on the surface of stigma of the carpel, and that will germinate there, and fertilization can be processed. So in this pre-fertilization, no, we have studied about and something a data is given to you. I want to refer that data. In that data, it is given that number of chromosome in the myocytes. Myocytes already I have used that is the gamete mother cell. What is the number of chromosome in the gamete mother cell, in the myocyte, found in the different types of organism? It has been given in the data. You must remember it in the page number 13 of NCERT 12th book, table 1.1. So I have already written it on the copy. You see, after looking this, human has the 46. This data is given here. So in this total organisms, there is number of chromosomes, and this chromosomes number which are given here are diploid number of chromosomes. Diploid number of chromosomes. You should also consult the table 1.1 in the NCERT book, and we have in the pre-fertilization event we have studied till the pollination. And after pollination, now we will study about the second phase of the sexual reproduction, second event of the sexual reproduction, that is the fertilization. So next class we will study about the fertilization. Thank you.